Fisher Towers, one of our favorite hikes. Yeah, I know, I've said that before. But this really was an amazing hike, and it wasn't even on our original agenda. What a blessing. At first, we thought we were going to get wet, but the mighty Colorado River, there in the background, seemed to be a magnet, sucking the misty rain from the few clouds, such that it truly only seemed to be raining into the river. Picking up strength before making its way to the Grand Canyon, I assumed. You will quickly notice on this hike that some areas are narrow, and when you're not hiking on rock, the soil is dusty and covered in spalls, requiring you to verify your footing so you're not basically hiking on ball bearings. And I have a bad habit sometimes where if I see an interesting feature, I'll fixate on it instead of watching where I'm walking. And it seemed that with every turn, the trail opened into a new view that was unique and captivating.
Yeah, a lot of offshoots the other day.
Now this diversion turned out not to be the main trail, but there sure were a lot of footprints. And the farther we went, the thinner the footprints got, the greater the trail incline, and the narrower it got. Off-roaders always comment, "Oh, the video doesn't do the difficulty justice." And that was certainly true here. But look at that. Look at that. This sure looks pretty sketch to me even now. And trust me, that's quite the deep drop off to the right.
Little edgy there, huh?
Yeah.
I feel like I do remember it making mention of, just like we saw the face, like various things along the way, like
Okay.
you know, being able to make out certain things. I guess if we use our imagination.
My imagination is mostly focused on the ground right now. Oh, it's cool.
Yeah, it is. Another very different, ooh, like straight up there. No wonder it's called tower. Like, look how, that's cool, and it's kind of illuminated right now.
We finally gave up and turned around when it looked like a dead end, but it was certainly not a waste. The adrenaline rush aside, we got to see a completely different perspective of the many unique features that would not have been seen otherwise. As we risked death discussing what the formations reminded us of.
No way. As much as I'd want to go hiking, no way I'd bring my kids.
Does it look like it keeps on going?
The website Visit Utah calls Fisher Towers one of the Utah Canyon Country's most bizarre landscapes. I personally wouldn't use the adjective bizarre, maybe unique, picturesque, awe-inspiring, breathtaking, majestic, grand. You get the drift. I do agree with them that the area is a maze of soaring fins, pinnacles, minarets, gargoyles, spires, and strangely shaped rock formations. And I'll add that it keeps your imagination churning and returning your psyche to its youth as you try to comprehend this amazing larger-than-life first-time experience. There are over 5 miles of hiking at Fisher Towers with an elevation change of about 1,500 feet. You can take the typical out and back trail, but there are offshoots. Looking again at the maps, I'm starting to think that the offshoot we took at the beginning was not a dead end. At least, not where we stopped. But that's okay, because it was still only out and back, and it turned around at the far point where we were anyway. There were several places that were really not marked well, and it wasn't just us that struggled with keeping on path. As I mentioned, we followed many a footprint that led to cliffs or walls, but it turned out we were never more than a couple feet from the trail. Sometimes even being on the trail with GPS confirmation, but it just didn't feel right, if you know what I mean.
I might take back what I said yesterday about that being one of my favorite trails. They're all one of my favorite trails. But looking out over the river. Was it? Oop. I assume that's what those mean. Well, that's what I'm saying. According to the all trails, it looks like we're probably about halfway. Okay. This must be the ladder.
An actual ladder? I thought it was like a...
Steps.
No, like a
rock.
Like figurative ladder.
Uh,
What? Oh my. Okay.
boy, being vertically challenged, that was a reach, just that first step.
The ladder here didn't surprise us, as we had read about it briefly on our way to the hike. It honestly was a last-minute find-and-attack hike,
And then up
as we
these.
had a few hours that had not been scheduled full, and we were still reading about it on the way there.
Ooh, it smells. Coin smell and metal.
Might be easier. Is it easier of it? Maybe not. It's quite a stretch.
Part of me wondered if the descent would have been easier on the bare rock than the ladder, which seemed designed more for a 6+ foot tall person. But it was handy on the way back, making the ascent for sure. It seemed much too quickly the sun began to set on us, for we could have wandered there hours more. And with our diversion at the beginning, which frankly wasn't unfortunate, as I mentioned before, we turned around just short of the end of the trail. I have to say, Fisher Towers was the perfect end to our visit to Moab.